I am Todd from GoodCleanFunLife.com.
And I am Tony Russo from OceanCity.com. And we have a sign. And we're crooked, but it's a sign. And we got all sorts of fun stuff.
It's very symptomatic of our 213 episodes.
Right. Well, it's kooky. We're kooky guys.
A little bit crooked.
Yeah. So all sorts of fun stuff. Todd and I were actually working at the same place for. Is that the first time we were ever both working and at the same place?
I think so.
It's only been 6 years.
The only time we've ever been at the same place.
We've been podcasting.
Well,
I actually
eating muskrat.
Right, and I almost came to your house one time, but then we also podcasted because what the hell?
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
All sorts of fun stuff. So we were at the HMRA show in Ocean City, Maryland, and what that stands for is a Hotel Motel Restaurant Association show, and it's a place where people who sell stuff to hotels and restaurants mostly come and show the hotels and restaurants what they have, and then people buy it.
I mean, that's the intent of it,
right?
It's obviously with the service industry, all of the beds that are rented every week during the summer and shoulder seasons with golf and all of that, that you have everything from bed sheets that don't stain to, of course.
Is that real?
Yeah, no, actually that is real.
I'm sorry. And I didn't mean to laugh at some poor man's invention.
The funny thing is we were walking through, the bigger part for most of us in the Ocean City area is, of course, all the free beer and liquor
and food.
The hotel sheet guy that doesn't stain was set up right across from one of the liquor booths. And I just, I'm like, why is that there? And then after I thought about it for a little bit, I'm like, maybe that's not a bad idea to have him there.
Well, we actually, OceanCity.com, sorry, stepped out of frame.
You're drifting.
OceanCity.com had a booth, and this was the first time I'd ever done the booth thing.
Sure.
And it was interesting to see how much, because we weren't far from the non-craft beer bar.
Okay.
But so there were plenty of people, and we had plenty of people to talk to, but we were next door to a guy who sold in-room portfolios. You go and it's like, where's the restaurant? Where's the pool? Stuff like that. And I forgot about this part from when I used to be a reporter. There, he worked those 2 days and made whatever 80% of his sales for the whole year. The people who sell the hotel locks, same thing.
So that
bed guy, he works the 2 days a year.
That's a big show for him.
They're for many, if not most of them, it's a huge show.
So it's interesting because I have this thing. It's interesting. Kind of similar to you. I'm in the hotel motel restaurant business without owning or supplying or
we're promoters.
We're marketers.
Right.
In fact, we had a great conversation at one point. We were talking to somebody who had like a new tequila, a pineapple cinnamon tequila.
Right.
It wasn't bad, but you'll cringe.
Yeah.
The thing of it is that they ask, it's like, oh, do you have a bar? And, I don't want to sound like just a mooch.
Right.
I'm just here for whatever. I'm like, no, but we influence bars.
Right. We are influencers. For me, it was, I had a really different experience. This guy came up to me and he was loaded. That's the other thing. Like some people and he was like from Bob's HVAC and they overserved him. So I don't think they cared very much about you and your wanting to try their tangerine vodka or whatever.
Right.
But he came up to me and he's like, so what do you do? And I'm like, well, I write about, he's like, no, but what do you do? And I'm like, well, that's my job. I write. And he's like, wait. And he's really like, so you're telling me you just write? And I'm like, well, I don't just write, but I'm a writer. Like that's a job that people have. I'm one of those people, I just couldn't make that.
It's the adult equivalent of smacking the books out of your hand and saying, shut up, nerd.
Right. It's like, but I also did have the opportunity because we do craft beer. We do the show craftbeer.com. So we had a craft beer talk, which was really, really cool. It's cool how much more interesting. Like last year I went and I gave a talk and there were more people, like there were 3 people sitting in front of me. And 2 of them got up and left halfway through. And I was like a stand-up comedian. I'm like, really? And they're like, no, we're so sorry. We have to leave. But this year we not only did we pack them in, but there was a little bit of confusion about the time. So we thought we were to start at 1, and it turned out we were to start at 1:30, and we started at 1 to a bunch of people. And at 1:30, a bunch more people showed up.
Oh, nice.
So we had a nice little crowd to talk to.
And it looked like you had a good panel of people.
We did. We had Jason from Ask the Woman, Renee from the Clarion, Jackie from Secrets, and Don from Fagers. Don.
Oh yeah, Dan,
and my boss Ann, and they just talked about the different sections of craft beer, and people were interested. They didn't ask questions, but because I get to practice with you every week, as the thing started to slow down, I'm like, hey, I have a question. I did a little bit of emceeing, which I know is more your bag than mine.
Hey,
but it worked out. It worked out well for me. I was happy to do it, and I think it went pretty well.
That's good. You looked very comfortable up there. I was kind of doing something, so I didn't really.
Right.
I apologize. As much as I don't read your stuff, I also don't stop and listen to you.
Listen. And we'll talk about it in a second. But I love how quickly, because you went by only a little less quickly in real time than you did in the video that you posted.
That's right.
So tell us about the video.
Well, we were having fun. This was also our first show where we called up, we asked, hey, can we be press? Right. It's a lot of our clients are there. It's a lot of, our clientele or type of clientele is there. So why not, try to be involved? And it was great because they came back and like, oh, not like, we'll let you come in and set up a table, in the free section, like we were next to the Ravens Roost, guys, right? Which I had to buy a $10 raffle ticket for, some scholarship or something. But we set up a TV and just let it play there, and it had a bunch of our videos and had some quotes about content marketing and just kind of our general philosophy. So we had a presence there. So that was the first time we were there on our own. But it was great to be able to walk around and kind of do our thing. And what was most fun is we got a new 360-degree camera, which I've been talking about. Facebook is pushing the virtual reality and the 360 tours. It's real easy to upload even to YouTube. They have the same sort of thing. So we were just playing with that. And I there was a point where I felt like a salesperson for this,
right?
Because I just wanted to walk around and test it out because we're getting ready to use it for opening weekend at the Starboard.
Right.
And, I'm walking around and everybody's like asking about it, and I'm giving them all the specs of my intake or my what I think about it. And, like, oh, it's the first one to market. And, there's the image quality is 1080, but once you shrink, like I had this whole spiel, and I'm like, I'm selling this thing to everyone.
This Toddcast sponsored by 360 camera. Well, what was interesting to me about it was that I'm a billion years old and I didn't get it. So you posted the video, and I'm like, why is Todd just walking around pointing with this thing, just pointing at him the whole time?
Right.
And it still looked really cool.
Sure.
And then I saw that there were directional things, and I'm like, because when you said it was a 360 camera, I was under the impression that you were going to edit something together, not that I could play choose your own adventure.
Yes.
With you walking around the convention center. So I watched it a couple times from a couple different angles.
So that's what's great about it.
And then I'm like, really, this is how you're going to spend your day? You're going to watch Todd 1 minute and 42 seconds at a time for 4 hours.
Well, what shoes was he wearing?
Right.
So what's great about it, and yeah, we had a couple people who didn't quite get, that it was interactive.
Right.
And my favorite is the realization is if I posted that early in the morning. So we filmed it one day and I threw together a quick little piece to be able to put up and people could see, so I could also show them when we were at the show. But we have this great girl who's, just a wonderful free spirit. And she said, I don't understand why there's almost 2 minutes of Todd's feet. And when I realized, I'm like, well, you know what it is? When you're sitting on the toilet looking at your phone.
Oh, does it move? That's
the angle that you're looking at. So when you're looking at it on a mobile device like this, the perspective is down. So that would be my feet. So then you pick it up and you move your phone and it moves to
that. is bloody insane.
It's pretty.
It's Minority Report level.
It's pretty mind blowing.
That's crazy.
And from the content perspective of things, there's two things that's happening. One, you put it on Facebook. Facebook is putting 360 videos at the top of everybody's feed because they've just invested a lot of money into this technology. And two, which I hadn't even really thought about, is people will watch the same minute-and-a-half video three or four times. Over again.
Yeah, I really did watch it a couple times and the only thing that stopped me was I had stuff to do. I'm like, if I was a cubicle monkey, I would watch this 1,000 times.
Right.
But I was working at home and I was being creative, so I couldn't spend too much time. But I walked right up to the precipice of, okay, you have to stop watching now, or this is all you're going to do today.
Yeah.
There wasn't, I'm like that. There's no middle ground for me. It's like, this is what I'm doing, or this is not what I'm doing.
So we learned a bunch of things from doing it. And I would say, not this weekend, but next weekend, we're going to have a nice video for the Starboard. We actually it was purchased for that purpose. And, so, all of those fans who love the content that we put together for the Starboard would love to just sit in their cubicle on Monday morning and pretend like they're back at opening weekend looking at all the sites.
Now, and will you be doing the theme parties? Is that on your list of things to do? Have you?
We haven't re-upped for this year. We certainly hope so, but I mean, that would be another great application for this.
I go back and forth about whether or not I want to be party to that in any way at all.
But yeah, and then so we were talking about that, so that we both had a good HMRA show. Although maybe didn't have such a good.
I didn't get. I usually spend both days again. Oh, I wanted to talk to you, but I wanted to little hipster you a little bit. Like you're like, can I call you? You're like, oh, we're kind of pressed, and I'm like, I got to the point where I would just show up and say, I'm here. Did you register? I'm sure I did.
Yep.
Give me a ticket. I gotta go take pictures. And we had this conversation. It's like, yeah, I'm with the paper.
Yeah.
Not what paper. Yes. Yeah, I'm with the paper. Okay, here. And
I make stuff for the site.
Right. And but you got a table out of it, which is something that I never attempted to do. I don't know if the papers. I think the Daily Times group, the Gannett group, I think they had have a booth.
I mean, and we started talking about, like, for us, I'm sure that it's unlikely we will get a sale out of it. I mean, I'm surprised what you're saying it makes sense. The hotel lock guy, he gets one contract.
And that's the deal day. If you're going to buy a donut maker,
right,
you're not going to buy it in February. You're going to wait for the show.
Right.
And so if you're the donut maker guy, come April, you're like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
Or, yay, you know how your Christmas is going to be
right
by Tuesday morning. One of the really cool things, and this is my first time on, like, I don't do any sales, but this is the first time I've been so involved with the concept of sales.
Okay.
Apparently people buy things.
Yeah. And need to be influenced to buy things.
And one of the things that I got out of we had a table. And we weren't really selling things, but one of the things that we do at oceancity.com is everybody has like a blurb, where they are, what are their hours. And we had a sign up, like, check your blurb and make sure it's right.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Right?
That is a great idea.
Or let me go through and check Google for 17 hours on Monday.
Yeah.
So people were coming by and they're like, oh, I didn't see myself. I just started this new business. We're not on the site. And there was no hard sell. There was no, that'll be $40 million. Like, cool.
Basically, they're doing your work for you.
They're doing enough of it. They didn't do the writing.
Yeah.
But it would be like, give us your card. Is everything on the card current? Cool. We'll type it in for you.
Right.
But it wasn't, it never occurred to me how useful it would be to just have people come by and say, yeah, I checked. I'm not on there. Because now I don't have to say, oh, is that place open?
Right.
The week before, we were trying to say, I was trying to write a restaurant story, and I'm like, okay, so what restaurants are open? And we're like, is this one still open?
Right.
There was rumors that was closing, and in March it'll be easier to tell in May, but you want to have a lot of this stuff done by May.
Yes.
So I was really impressed with us, I guess.
Yeah.
I feel a little outside of it still, but I thought it was a good idea.
No, that's a great idea. That's a great idea for collecting information and making people value what you do.
Right. And since people really do, like, people will send me emails saying, you know, when is Springfest? And I'm like, well, let me Google that.
Sure.
You know, but it's nice that they ask.
Well, and it's funny because we've sort of gotten out of the practice of posting events. Like we used to have an event calendar, and now it's just because we're so busy actually producing things for clients, you know, it's kind of heavy handed to say, hey, you know, just do the events that we're doing, and then to, you know, collect information from everybody else. But still, I get requests once a month to be like, hey, can you get can you put this on your calendar? I'm like, well, we don't really have a calendar anymore, but you know, we have maybe a little bit of influence. We can, you know, do a little write up about it and
things like that. So we've been, we do. Actually, I don't know if we have a calendar. I don't know.
Calendars are tough.
I don't know if I do it. No, it gets done.
Yeah.
But I think it might be hooked into like a larger, like enter your event here kind of thing.
And I think that's the thing. And part of the reason we got away from it is because also graphically and aesthetically, all calendars look terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, like you have a grid, like we had a cool, like, I don't know. It was just like,
oh no, ours is just, we don't have like a click on the day.
Yeah.
It just says events. When you click on the events, it'll show you the next. And it doesn't show you bingos and quarter auctions and
Longenberger basket raffles.
None of those things. It's just like St. Patrick's Day parade, you know, whatever time, whatever day.
All the majors.
Right.
That's good. That's good. Well, so while we were at the HMRA show, I was mentioning to you that we've started practicing what we preach and talking about getting content out there and recording a little marketing piece, you know, and it's that first person talker. It's like just me a minute saying what's on my mind about everybody should be using whatever camera they have to put stuff out there.
And you were test driving something similar to this earlier this year.
Yeah, well, and this is the continuation of that. So yeah, we've done one now every month was the initial goal, and like I said, I just kind of think randomly, but if I sit down and after thinking randomly on camera, I can put something that kind of is a little bit more coherent and pulls it all together in the written form. So that's kind of what we're doing. And we've been doing it from different, you know, trying to show the different things, the different clients that we're working with and the different areas that we're coming from, you know, because there's nothing worse than saying, hey, you know, we do it because you have to do it. But like, you know, stay tuned for the HMRA video coming from, like, I hate the stay tuned thing, you know, it's like if I were in the business of staying tuned, you know, it'd be a huge disappointment.
I am not a stay tuned promoter, but I am a stay tuned answerer. Like if I'm in the middle of the story and somebody's like, hey, what about this? I'll say, yeah, stay tuned. Right. Or actually, I don't think I used the word stay tuned, but I did. If I did something, I did the word version. I had like a really cool blurb. Like as I was writing, I'm like, oh, that's very clever. I'm going to tell everyone how clever I am. And then I said, hey, look how clever I am.
Right.
This is clever. You know?
Well, so it's so much better for me to be, you know, standing at the booth. It's more clever for me to be standing at the booth of Burley Oak talking about marketing stuff where I'm obviously at the HMRA show and
saying, you know, we're going to go inside, check back on Tuesday, see what happened. Right.
But yeah, email marketing, is one of the things that we're doing and trying to get the video out there and encouraging everyone to do it.
One of the things that I was thinking about, because you've been talking about the email marketing so much, is I wonder if it has, did we talk about this already? If it has something to do with Facebook exhaustion, like I want to check my email where I know
we talked about email being obligatory.
Yeah. But you also since there's an unsubscribe button and since we take that so seriously, we're not going to, now we've gotten to the point, it used to be, spam filters are so much better now. It used to be, you know, you kind of cringe. You're like, oh, I don't want to open my email. But now everything when you get an email, everything, you don't need everything, but you asked for everything.
Yes.
You know, and if you don't want to see it, you can say, you know, you can say, I'm not looking at that.
Right.
But you don't have, but you can unsubscribe, or you can say, you know what, not today.
Yeah.
And that's different really than from 3 years ago, which is why I think email marketing kind of tanked and then is on its way back now, because
Yeah, and Facebook exhaustion may play into that. I know you got something else, but we should mention. Have you looked at again, because I saw more news about the Facebook instant articles?
I haven't looked into that at all.
Okay, so now we talked about it. You signed up for it a year ago, and guess what? Congratulations, you're going to be allowed to do it.
Yeah.
But they actually have created with WordPress a plugin that will go on your WordPress to be able to have instant articles. So if you have a WordPress site already, you will be able to have instant articles as a publisher.
So suspicious of Facebook. Is it wrong of me?
Of course it is. Of course it's not wrong of you.
So suspicious.
But so if you have advertised, and the way that I understand, we don't advertise on our site. But the way that I understand it is, if you're doing instant articles and you have native advertising on, or I guess not native, if you have advertising on your WordPress site, if you get click-throughs, you will get a percentage of the click-throughs that come from Facebook.
One of the things that we struggle with, that I struggle with a lot, and I've talked about it on the show 1,000 times, is we have a pretty decent conversion rate, but we don't have, we can't just post stuff from our site. We can't just link stuff to our site. Like, we have to post things directly to Facebook. And you know what just occurred to me? They're tired of holding all of our cat videos in between our posts.
Yeah.
So if I'm putting the cat video on my website,
right,
and I'm using my space for that, not my space, but the space that I have for that, Facebook doesn't have to keep my cat videos anymore.
Yeah.
That's a big deal, I think.
Could this be the end of cat videos?
Well, I don't mean cat videos. I mean,
the bullshit
pictures, photos, like, because sometimes it won't let me load. Rarely, because I'm persistent, but sometimes it doesn't like the photo. Sometimes it can't see the photo that's attached to the post.
Yeah,
and so you upload a photo to your post, or like, I think I'm one of the few people who put stuff mainly on the website and only occasionally on Facebook. Everybody else is the reverse. They'll go down, they'll be down at the inlet, and they'll take an inlet video and they'll upload it directly to Facebook.
Right.
And then Facebook, as I said, has to store that video, and we put up a video a day.
Yeah.
We put up 2 sometimes.
Yeah, but do you really think that Facebook has hard press for storage, or
today,
or the thousands and thousands?
Did you get your? Do you have a professional Flickr account?
We Flickr, no.
Did you get the notification from Flickr that they wouldn't be automatically uploading your photos anymore, and unless you started to pay them?
No. Yeah.
They're phasing that out.
Well, but is Flickr Google?
Flickr's Yahoo.
Oh, well, Yahoo is
right. Maybe because they gave away all that free space 15 years ago.
Yeah.
It's still, somebody's got to dig the ditches. Somebody's got to maintain that stuff.
Yeah.
And if they can get you to take a little bit less money, probably the same. You know what? I'll bet it's the same. I'll bet the money that you make from the increased Facebook interaction,
right,
if you're an AdWords person at all, I'll bet the money you make from the increased interaction isn't radically different from the money you make by posting to Facebook and hoping that people click through.
Yeah, maybe. What is crazy is that Facebook is still figuring out a way to incrementally make money off of people who are creating content, as opposed to, having content creators be compensated in some way. We talk about the YouTube model versus what they're doing. And the fact of the matter is that they're still doing it, and it's such a small percentage of their income, but still they're taking cents from us.
But I think I just talked myself into it.
Yeah.
Okay, so I run several websites. OceanCity.com is the biggest of them and the most popular, and it's self-sustaining. We don't, but I have other sites that I struggle. And I'm about to segue by accident. So I have other sites that I struggle with. One of them is Maryland.com. Now Maryland.com does fine. It does fine because it's Maryland.com.
Sure. Yeah.
It can be just that.
Yeah.
But
it's one of 50.
But now when I go to someplace that's not Ocean City or Annapolis, because we also have Annapolis.com, I'll write a story anyway, and I'll put it on OceanCity.com. I learned this when I did my taxes this year. But
like for evading stuff?
No, if I put my hand in my pocket and I wrote a story about it, a couple dollars back. Not everything.
Right.
So anyway, but that's not really why I did it. But I covered this Cambridge Muskrat Festival, and it just wasn't really appropriate to put on Ocean City website. It wasn't really appropriate to put on Annapolis website. And I was complaining I mentioned that to Mo. She's like, well, put it on Maryland.com. And I'm like, okay, all right. I will. And so Maryland.com and Annapolis.com, they do have, like, OceanCity.com doesn't really use the AdWords in a big way. I think it might have some, but they do have a little bit of that AdWords stuff. So if I wanted to increase traffic to those sites that are flagging a little bit,
right,
that wouldn't be a bad way to do it because it's just me.
Right.
So I'm posting, I'm in Annapolis.com news releases a lot of times, or rewritten news releases. I'm nothing gross. I mean, I'm still a reporter at heart.
Right. I'm a journalist, damn it.
It's still, I can't shake it, but getting a little bit more traction has been difficult because
you're getting
because
beat
it's just
down.
Me and I like to write about Ocean City. I've been writing. I mean, I produce a ton of content for Ocean City. I produce an amount of content for Shore Craft Beer. I get to Annapolis and Maryland and the other ones when I can,
right?
And this would be a way to make it more valuable when I get to.
Well, and it's funny because we have a similar situation, although like what suffers most is goodcleanfunlife.com. We post a lot for, for our other clients, for Mackey's and Sarbird, and then we create things that, our name isn't necessarily attached to because we're the, behind the scenes production. Yeah. But then at the heart of it is most people just know us as the people who are,
the party people,
and, and then when it comes to that, that's what we have to keep reminding ourselves of. It's like, oh yeah, we have to put stuff on, on stuff, on our own site.
So that might be a good way to increase your visibility without hurting yourself doing it.
Right.
Something to consider. The other thing I want to mention about the muskrat, besides that I'm going to try to start using Maryland.com a little bit more often because I was struggling to find ways to stuff things into OceanCity.com, and now it's like, well, if you go to Dorchester, put it under Dorchester, and it was really kind of a liberating moment I had the other day, and I got a lot of traction. It was a fun story. About eating muskrat, and I also linked, and I actually found and linked to our Varmint Fest story.
Oh, no.
From
there you go.
Yeah,
see?
so I don't know. I would like to know.
I
would like to know if you get a little bump. I would also like you to take a look at the size of my fucking head.
Your hair was much longer too.
I know I'd lost some weight, but it was nice. Like I've been struggling. I hit a wall. Yeah. I'm not losing weight anymore. And it was really, really, I'm like, okay, well, I'm not there yet.
It doesn't help that you have a vermin in your mouth.
I have, but that's the thing. I have my profile picture on Facebook now is the most recent picture of me eating muskrat, and it is not as gross
with a smaller face.
Right, my face is smaller. The muskrat remains muskrat.
Well, you'll be mad at me then because we have a little multicam setup that I'm trying for this other project, and I put the GoPro with the wide angle on you,
right?
And that's not a slight
flattering
to you.
Yeah.
That's
well, maybe I was standing in the middle of it, so
yeah.
maybe it's got a slimming face. I've been wearing. I noticed today. This is
stripes.
I noticed today when I saw last week's that I'm in a striped shirt again today. So I mean, I won't be wearing wide bars next week, but maybe we'll get away from the stripes. It's almost short sleeve shirt time.
It definitely is t-shirt weather.
Yes. But that's pretty much all I got. How about you?
I got nothing else.
All right. Well, may Todd give you the sense to live in a small town.
We'll see you next week at happy hour.
Cheers.
Cheers.